Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Honorable Chairperson of this session, Haji Abdul Malik, His Excellency Minister from Malaysia, fellow participants, let me first express my gratitude to Mr. Zubair Mughal, the Chief Executive of Halal Research Council, for organizing today's conference, which is really the need of the day. Being the Muslim country, we take it granted whatsoever we are manufacturing or whatsoever is we are importing, all are halal. But sometimes the case is different. Our country is basically the agricultural country. Our economy is based on agriculture. In the food industry is the second largest industry, followed by our textile industry. But when we talk about the food processing level of our agricultural commodities, on an average basis, we have the processing of about 4% of our total produce in the country. What it indicates? It indicates that there is a lot of potential in the processing of our agricultural commodities into different food products. Our Honorable Minister in his inaugural speech mentioned that there is a market of $1 trillion for halal products. But when we talk about Pakistan, we are the Muslim country. We have, it can be a hub or a corridor for the halal export to our Muslim Central Asian countries as well as to our brother Middle East countries. But at the present level, in the present situation, our share to halal market is almost 0%. So this is a school of thought for our industry, the policy makers, that we being the Muslim countries, we don't have any share in the halal market. What are the reasons? We have to identify the reasons. But it is the right time that our Mr. Zubair Mughal, he tried to have gathering of different scholars, the professionals who can speak on this topic. Now I will start about the actual topic which has been given to me. I have divided my presentation in different parts. First, I would like to explain about what is the processing. Then, what are the sources for food ingredients. Then, what are the halal ingredients and what are the haram ingredients. And sometimes we have also some questionable mashru ingredients. Then, when you have a look on the label of any food product, sometimes the E number is mentioned. I would like to explain that what are the E numbers. Finally, I would very briefly mention about the requirements of food processing. Next please. Next. So food processing is a set of methods or techniques for the transformation of raw ingredients into food or to transfer food into other forms or consumption by human or animal or by the food industry. So it is the transformation of the raw material into the edible form. Next. Next. So there are different objectives of food processing. Why we process the food? The most important, to make it palatable. The second one is to increase its keeping quality or its shelf life, and sometimes to have the minimum losses of the nutrients, because when we process any food, there are the losses of the nutrients. So these are main objective of food processing. Next please. So there are different methods which are used for the processing or preservation of foods. The most important is in the cold storage by having the refrigeration temperature or the freezing temperature. Then by the use of thermal processing. We also have some methods which are used for the processing of or preservation of food by gasification. Then there are different other methods which include which are the new technologies for filtration, which is also being used in case of our water purification in our dairy industry. Then we have the high pressure technology, which is though it is expensive, but it is very popular worldwide to retain maximum nutrients in the processed food. Then we have also the first electric force technology, which is also the latest technology. Next. Now I will discuss. There are different sources. There may be different sources of food ingredients. For example, the animals, plants. Sometimes we are synthesizing the nutrients like flavors, colors, additives, and sometimes there are the fermented products like yogurt. So these are four main sources which are mainly used for driving the food ingredients. Next. So these food ingredients have been grouped into different classes. Preservatives is one group of food ingredients. Then sweeteners, color additives, flavors, spices, nutrients, emulsifiers, stabilizers. So there are different groups of food ingredients. Next, please. Next. Next. बहुत आगे चले गए, पीछे चले, आगे जा रहे हैं. Yes. So this is the continuation of the previous slide. The leavening agents, anti-decaying agents, humectants, yeast treatments. So these are different groups under which these ingredients are found. Yes. So halal ingredients, as in the keynote address mentioned the Honorable Minister, the Supreme Law given Almighty Allah can ordain what is halal and what is haram. So halal food means the food which is fit for human consumption and permitted by laws of Islam are permissible and lawful according to our Sunnah, Quran and Sharia. The food are its ingredients do not contain any parts or products of animals that are non-halal or products of animals which are not started according to the law of Islam. So halal means which is permissible by Almighty Allah. Next. So what are the requirements of halal ingredients? It should be halal. it must not be najis, and they should be safe for human health and not injurious to health. The halal ingredients, it is also very important that are neither prepared, processed or manufactured. This is a part of processing. When not the ingredients, when we are preparing the food, it should not be processed and manufactured using najis equipment, nor remain in contact with najis atoms. So this is very important. Ingredient is one of the components, but the important is when we are processing food, it should also contain the environment equipment from halal. Next. The animals which are derived from plant sources, they are all halal, but the ingredients which are derived from the animals, they are only halal when they are derived from the halal animals as well as from the animals which are slaughtered according to the law of Islam. So, the halal animals which are slaughtered by the Muslim ensure complete removal of blood from carcass. Human handling is practiced. Sometimes there are the automatic slaughtering. So we should prefer the man slaughtering. Synthetic ingredients are all halal. Next. Then the haram foods means are the ingredients means are the drinks which have been strictly prohibited by according by the Quran and Sunnah. So these are the major foods which are which include which are haram, which include pork, alcohol, blood, dead animals slaughtered with reciting the name of Almighty Allah. So the very important is there is no question when we have the ingredients from plant sources. But the question are the ingredients become questionable or mashhur when these are derived from the animal or any other source. So the mashhur is an Arabic term which describes suspected or doubtful ingredients about which we are not sure of the source. So in order to have the assurance, the certainty that whether the ingredients is halal or haram, we must know the source. So here the important role is of certifying bodies, because we all are in our Pakistan, the manufacturing of ingredients is not at a large scale. Our food industry is dependent on the import of these ingredients. So the source of ingredient, the verification of the source of ingredient from the accredited certifying body is very important to determine whether the product is halal or haram. If there is any doubt, according to Islam, the product will not be halal. So these are the gelatin. Yes. It can be prepared from pork, beef, fish. Again, it becomes questionable. It will be only halal if it is derived from the halal animals, the bones of the animals or the hides of the animals which have been slaughtered according to the Islamic law. Then glycerin, these are sometimes prepared from animal fats. Here again the question arises that whether the animal fats from the animals which were slaughtered according to the Islamic law. So mainly the ingredients becomes mashhur or questionable when these are derived from the animal sources. Here it is very important to know the source of the animal, whether it was halal animal, and it was with the same time it has been slaughtered according to the Islamic law. Next. So other examples are toddy. It is often used as a energy drink. It is mostly derived from wheat flour. The pepsin, clarifier, stabilizer to make drinks. These are also obtained from animal sources. Like clarifier, these are used to make the juices cloudy. Then active carbonate flavors. These are used as in the fruity aromas. Next, please. GMO. Besides the ingredients, there is also debate going on the GMO. The foods which have been grown after gene modification, genetic modification. If the genetic modification is through chemicals, there are different school of thoughts. Then it is regarded as acceptable. Enzymes, yes, if the GMO is through the enzymes manipulation, the use of enzymes, then these are acceptable. Transgenic foods only are acceptable when there is the transfer of genes from plant to plant, but when animal to plant gene is a transfer, then it becomes questionable. Animal to animal gene transfer is again questionable. Next. Yes, now I will give very brief about E-codes. Sometimes when you have some E numbers on the labels, what are the E numbers? In fact, the E numbers are the European Union numbers which have been established by their scientific committee, and these codes indicate the ingredient which is some type of food additives. So E numbers are always the food additives which have been used in that particular food. E indicates European Union approved food additives. Other countries have different labeling laws, but because usually we are importing these ingredients from the European countries, so always many of our food products they contain these E code numbers. Next. So these are, again I mentioned, different group of food ingredients. They have also classified these food ingredients as per E numbers. The E numbers from 100 to 199 that comprises different coloring agents. Then the E number from 200 to 229, it will comprise the preservatives. Similarly, the E number starting from 400 will have thickener, stabilizer, gelling agent, emulsifier agents. Then E500 will have the agents for physical characters. E600 flavor enhancers. Yes. So these number goes up to 1500. Next. These are the some E numbers which have been declared as mashbu or haram by our Islamic scholars. E106, it is mashbu. Then E120, colchicine, carbine, derived from animal sources. So our Islamic scholars, they have done the marvelous job for assessing these additives with respect to E number, and then they have, if you will go to the internet, you will find their status, whether these ingredients are mashbu or haram. Next. So there are certain requirements to have the halal food processing. Number one, the most important is that the ingredients which we are using for the food production must be halal. Must be halal. Then processing must be checked according to Islamic rules and regulations. The final composition must be checked if there is involvement of any alcohol product during processing. That should be not considered as it. But certain quantity of alcohol produced during processing has been regarded as halal, but it is only it ranges less than 0.5% according to different school of thought of our Islam scholars. Then in the final composition, alcoholic ingredient must be not exceed than the permissible limit. Packaging material should not contain any haram ingredients. This is not only the ingredients or the processing material, that it should be from the halal ingredient. There is also important the food, the packaging material in which the food is being packed. It also not contain any haram ingredient. Cross contamination of najas or haram ingredient must be avoided. So there should be separate stores for halal and other foods. Equipment must be washed with permissible ingredients. In food processing, all the equipment must be clean, because as our honorable guest mentioned in the morning, that food should be halal and tayyib. So it is very important that the processing conditions, the area where the processing is going on, it must be neat and clean. They are following the hygienic rules. Clean up after non-halal ingredient production, if both are being processed. This is for the countries where both halal and non-halal foods are being processed. All halal products must be segregated during storage to avoid cross-contamination. So halal and haram foods should be stored separately. Yes.